The ocean is a fascinating place, and taking up 71% of the coverage of Earth, there is a lot of room for mysteries. Some of which I've talked about in previous videos, such as the tracking of a possible great white shark-eating fish to the legendary Bermuda Triangle, but there are tons more mysteries going on down there. Now, the 5 I will be talking about in this video are not mysterious creatures, although I will be doing more on that another time, but are unexplained events such as disappearances and discoveries that have happened at sea or deep underwater. So from the Japanese Dragon Triangle to the mysterious mummified body of a sailor, here are 5 oceanic and underwater mysteries that are still unexplained. Manfred Bajorat. In early 2016, something very strange happened. It was one of the first of its kind, and we still don't have answers. It was the mysterious discovery of a mummified sailor's body found drifting in the ocean. It started in 2008 when Manfred Bajorat and his wife left their home in Germany to pursue their passion for sailing and sail around the world. Unfortunately, they soon split up and Bajorat decided to carry on sailing solo. 2 years later, his wife had passed away and he was still travelling alone. He had very little contact with people, and it's been reported that he had not seen friends and family since 2009, although he did communicate through Facebook when he could. But at the end of February 2016, Bajorat's damaged yacht was spotted by fishermen around 60 miles off the coast of the Philippines. As one of them climbed aboard to investigate, he found a grey corpse sat at a desk. It was the mummified body of 59-year-old Bajorat. His body was surrounded with photos of his dead wife, showing happy memories of his earlier life along with a letter he had written to her. Nearby was radio equipment, leaving people wondering if he had been trying to call for help. Initially it was thought that he could have been killed by pirates, but an autopsy revealed that he'd actually died of a heart attack and was discovered 4 weeks earlier by the crew of a yacht taking part in an around-the-world race. They notified the Coast Guard, but they didn't seem to take immediate action. Here is where the mystery comes in. It's thought that Bajorat had passed away around a week before his body was first discovered by the yacht crew, yet his body was showing a level of mummification that would only happen after several years. It's a mystery how this level of mummification could occur in such a short space of time. It's thought that the conditions of the Philippine Sea may have contributed to his body drying out very quickly, and his skin acted like a tough preservative barrier protecting his inner organs from decomposing. But still, this dramatic amount of mummification has baffled pathologists as to how it's even possible, regardless of the ocean conditions. To date, his exact cause of death and how his body was kept like this is a mystery. Soquay Sinkhole. Soquay is a flooded sinkhole in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, positioned outside the ancient remains of the Maya city of Mayapan. It's caused by the collapse of limestone bedrock that creates this natural water pit, also called a cenotes, and they're relatively common around this area, but the Soquay is different. For as far back as records go, the locals have refused to go near it, claiming that it's cursed and haunted by a horse-headed serpent who can be seen diving into the sinkhole. Well, a team of divers from National Geographic decided to go down there to see what they could find, and before they left, a local performed a traditional ceremony to ask the gods permission for the researchers to enter the pit, and to fend off the serpent who they believe will kill anyone who goes there. After the ritual, the team explored the underground sinkhole and couldn't believe what they found. The chambers beneath the surface were covered in human bones. This discovery was unlike other human remains that have been found in sinkholes, as these bones did not appear to be the result of a human sacrifice, as with the previous discovery of 6 skulls in a cenote in the area. The bones found belonged to males, females, adults and teenagers, and what's strange is the fact that they are elongated, which is similar to other mysterious skulls found around the world. They showed no sign of being crushed or flattened, leaving some to believe they could be from a lost human civilization. Others believe the bodies of people with illnesses could have been dumped there as a way of preventing the spread of a disease, but we cannot be certain. To add to the mystery of why the bones are there is the fact that the sinkhole is positioned in the area in which the Maya associate with the mythical underworld, known as Xibalba. As well as the tales of the serpent, this could also be the reason why locals are so afraid to go near the place. But legends aside, why these elongated skulls and bones were at the bottom of this water pit is a mystery. The Devil's Sea. We've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle, the supposed region of the North Atlantic Ocean that is thought to be responsible for many mysterious aircraft and boat disappearances. But there is another lesser-known section of ocean that also shares the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. It's called the Devil's Sea and is located near the Japanese coast in the Pacific. The Japanese call it Mano Umi, meaning Sea of the Devil, and similar to the Bermuda Triangle, the area is seemingly responsible for the mysterious disappearance of planes and ships, and has also been linked to the unexplained disappearance of Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, who disappeared over the Pacific in 1937 whilst attempting to fly around the world. Also, in a book by Charles Berlitz, he revealed that between 1952 and 1954, 5 Japanese military vessels were lost in the area, which resulted in the disappearance of 700 people. After the incident, the Japanese government declared the Devil's Sea a danger zone and started to investigate it with a group of scientists, but when their vessel also disappeared, the investigation was stopped. It's thought that an undersea volcano could have been responsible for the loss of the research vessel, but what happened to the 5 military vessels is still unanswered. To add to the disappearance stories, there are also many sightings of UFOs, ghost ships, and problems with electronic equipment when passing through the Mano Umi. Even to this day, the Japanese fishing authorities have flagged the area as dangerous, so there is definitely something going on there. Now that could just be the underwater volcanoes, or because the Devil's Sea is one of 12 vile vortices, which is an area where the planet's magnetic waves are the strongest. So who knows what's going on? Do you think it's some kind of cursed paranormal section of Earth that is responsible for the stories? Or is it an area where natural activities such as volcanoes and high magnetic fields are causing all the problems? Ben McDaniel. This next mystery tells the story of Ben McDaniel, a 30-year-old man who disappeared whilst diving and has never been seen since. On the evening of August the 18th, 2010, he parked his pickup truck in the dive shop at Vortex Spring, a recreational dive park in Florida. Ben was a regular diver there and had been seen that evening entering a cave 58 feet below the water's surface. The main attraction of Vortex Springs is this cave, and only the most experienced divers are allowed to enter it. It even has a warning sign at its entrance showing the Grim Reaper, and at certain points the passage narrows to just 10 inches, meaning divers have to take their tanks off their backs and hold them in front of them to fit through. To add to this, parts of the cave are still unexplored and there have been several deaths there. 2 days after Ben was last seen, employees realised his truck hadn't moved from the car park. They rang the police, and inside his truck were his keys, wallet, mobile phone, and diving log, suggesting he had not returned since parking it. The police were confident he had drowned, but a search of the Vortex cave found no body, but 3 air tanks belonging to Ben were found at the entrance to the cave, along with some items of clothing. On August the 23rd, a veteran cave diver and recovery specialist was brought in. He had the reputation of diving places no one would dare, and he went further into the cave than anyone had ever been before, but no body or evidence was found. He is convinced no one was in that cave, but Ben's family refused to believe that and offered a reward to anybody who could find him. This led to many divers taking unnecessary risks in order to search for him, and the reward was called off after one diver died during a search. So what happened to Ben McDaniel? Some say he staged his own disappearance, and others think something else went on in that Vortex cave. In 2012, a film was released that explored his disappearance, but no conclusion was made, and the mystery of Ben's whereabouts and his final dive into that cave is still unsolved. Yonaguni Pyramids. Underwater cities and architectures are fascinating, and we are all familiar with the lost mythical city of Atlantis, which deserves its own video. But there is one underwater monument in Japan that could provide some interesting information about the human timeline. It's the Yonaguni Pyramids or Monument, and is an underwater rock formation off the coast of Yonaguni, in the southernmost of the Ryukyu Islands, and was only discovered by divers in 1986. When diving there, they spotted a structure that appeared to have staircase-like terraces with flat sides and sharp corners. At first glance, it was thought to be an incredible, one-of-a-kind natural rock formation, but in 1985, a Japanese diver went down to investigate, and said that there is no denying that it's a series of man-made structures. The monument is made of fine sandstone and mudstone that would have been deposited around 20 million years ago, and the formations appear to be carved from one large deposit. The way the rock is carved with very precise angles and flat parallel faces indicates it was purposely made, but remarkably little attention was paid to these claims, and people wanted to believe that it was a natural occurrence. It was a further 10 years before the structure was studied again, when a Japanese professor announced that it was evidence of an advanced prehistoric civilization, and that there were ancient drawings of animals and people engraved on the flat surfaces, although we have no pictures of this, so it cannot be confirmed. Scientists and the Japanese authorities have been debating whether it's the ruins of an ancient city, because it seems very unlikely that so many formations could be formed naturally in such a small area. So what if it is a sunken city? What makes this one so special? Well, if it is, then it would have been built around 10,000 years ago, before the area was submerged underwater due to tectonic activity. Meaning the monument would have been constructed long before the pyramids of Giza, and would be the oldest structure in the world. But some researchers believe due to an earthquake the monument could have sunken sooner than this, and could be 2 to 3,000 years old, but many, including Graham Hancock, disapprove of this theory. He thinks that the idea that it could have been built so long ago has been dismissed by archaeologists and historians, as this could be a significant missing chapter in time and could mean everything we've been taught about the past is incorrect. Since the current is extremely strong and very little research has been done on the Yonaguni monument, there is no conclusive date for its construction or if it was even constructed in the first place, leaving us with many unanswered questions, 3 that are particularly interesting. Are the structures natural formations caused by years of strong oceanic currents? Are they man-made? And if they are, and are as old as 10,000 years, then does that mean that humans have been building things much later than first thought? It's a truly mind-blowing and fascinating underwater mystery that doesn't seem like it will be getting solved anytime soon. And with the information that we have, what's your views on it? So there's 5 ocean and underwater mysteries. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next week for an interesting video on real superhuman powers.